Many people today are worried about just what would they do in the face of sudden violence against themselves and or their loved ones. Does this worry you as well? I wouldn't be surprised because you're not alone. And we're here to help with that. The Boise Gun Law Conference coming up in just the next few days, the end of this week. And so if you are ever involved in a violent encounter, the chances are you're going to court. Many have told us that once they get to court, what they wished was that they had known more about gun laws and the protocols of self-defense, as well as the inner workings of just how the legal system works. And so reserve your seat now at the conference and you will come away with a much better understanding of how the laws of self-defense really work in real life. Why is this important? Well, because the times, well, they are a-changing. No kidding. Things aren't the way they used to be. When I was growing up, I could ride my bicycle wherever I wanted to go. We played ball in the street, and there was nary a thought of personal protection for us kids. It's not like that anymore. Our world has become a dangerous place. So it's up to us to secure safety for ourselves and our loved ones. Man, have you seen or heard the news lately? Is there increased violence in our neighborhoods where we live? Yes. What about our workplace? Any workplace violence? Of course. And what about schools? Any violence in schools? Yes. We never used to have that happen. And nor our churches or shopping centers or other places that we want to go and visit and be part of. Okay. After experiencing the unthinkable assault and violence, how would you handle the aftermath? What's the aftermath? That would be the arriving officers that come to the scene and want to know all about what just happened. Maybe the crime scene investigators. How would you handle those folks? What about the media? What about the news channels? What about the reporters? What about the attorneys and the initial court hearings? All plenty of trouble for sure. Will you be the victor or the victim? What's the difference? Well, a victor controls the assault, where the victim is unprepared for the assault, and then he is at the mercy of the assailant. You deserve to have the confidence and the freedom of knowing what to do and when to do it. We make gun laws simple. Your legal rights do not have to be confusing or contradictory. The threat will happen when you least expect it. Of course, if we could expect it, we wouldn't be there that day. After all, if we knew when it was coming, we simply wouldn't go to the mall. Did you know that nearly 1% of the licensed paying gun owners that have their permits, less than 1% of those folks have ever in their lifetimes ever had any documentable defensive handgun training and law training that would withstand the scrutiny of the courthouse? Here's the big question: to shoot or not to shoot? Well, that's certainly the question. Many gun owners struggle to separate fact from fiction in the flood of misinformation that we find ourselves in, and we believe that information comes from trusted sources. Maybe those trusted sources we think, well, it could be the media. Yeah, maybe not so much. Could the media ever lie to you? Maybe. What about the news? What about Hollywood? Hollywood doesn't ordinarily make documentaries that are educational. It's entertainment. What you see in a Hollywood movie about how you should handle a gun battle may be altogether different than real life. We're not Rambo swinging through trees on vines. And what about the internet? Could you get reliable information on the internet? Maybe, but much of it is not reliable. Anybody with a fake name and an internet connection can type anything they want, and we read it, and we think it's fact. And many of us are guided by the well-meaning intentions of family and friends. They have all the right intentions in the world, of course, and they offer advice on what we should do and how we should do it. Remember, this has to withstand the scrutiny of the courthouse. So our annual Spring Gun Law Conference will clarify and defeat all those myths and misinformation, and you will come away with a trusted and documented plan of just what will you do to keep yourself out of the courtroom. And so we keep the Spring Law Conference very small in order to allow for more interaction between the students and our speakers. The Boise 4-day law conference is just a few days away. And so it happens next weekend, and we have a few seats still available. With those seats, we will also include your hotel room, and we will include all of your meals, including a private dinner with our speakers. It's a one-time event. And so I will stay by the telephone today, and I am available to answer any questions and secure your reservation. I am J.B. Heron. Call me at 360-378-1776.